Hi, friends. It is African Osorenko back at you with another video. And today we are going to discuss that absolutely fantastic president of Mali, of Burkina Faso, and then the presidents of Mali and Niger, and the great strides that they are making to ensure that their countries are ahead of the game in white supremacy. So give me 1 second and let me get it together. All right. And as always, I always want to do it correctly. So under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use. Okay, so no one says we're not doing things appropriately here. All right, and this story comes from SharePost. So it says Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger withdraw from International Organization of LaFrancophonie. Okay. Last week, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger announced their withdrawal from yet another French neo-colonial institution, the International Organization of La Francophonie, or better known as the OIF. Although its stated purpose is to promote the French language and greater cooperation among Francophone countries, a joint statement by the three countries accuses that the OIF has, however, become a remote controlled political instrument operated from Paris to suit its geopolitical considerations. Okay? The three countries were founding members. The three countries were founding members of the OIF. Its precursor was established in 1970 at a summit in Niger's capital, Niamey, as the Agency for Cultural and Technical Cooperation, the ACCT, which transformed into the Intergovernmental Agency of French-Speaking World, AIF, in 1998 before being rechristened as the OIF in 2005. Despite their 55 years of contribution to strengthening this organization, the trio countries complained that the OIF showed a disregard for their sovereignty by selective implementation of sanctions after the ouster of former France-backed regimes in these countries. Mhm. So they take action against them, to because they are protecting their rights in their countries. Western-backed institutions attempt to undermine AES states. Amid mass protests demanding the expulsion of French troops from their countries, their armies sided with the anti imperialist movement, ousting what were domestically perceived as puppet governments of their former colonizer in Mali in 2020, Burkina Faso in 2022, and Niger in 2023. The popularly supported military governments that replaced these regimes severed diplomatic ties with France and expelled its troops from the countries. Instead of accompanying these countries in achieving the legitimate aspirations of their peoples in accordance with its objectives of peace, cooperation, and solidarity, the statement added that the OIF was quick to retaliate by suspending and sanctioning these countries. And that's what they do. When these African countries want to take back their rights, they want to try to retaliate against them. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, another institution in the region, regarded as neo-colonial and linked to France and the US, had gone beyond suspensions and imposition of crippling economic sanctions, even threatening a France-backed military invasion of Niger in 2023. Now, do you see how disgusting that is? Okay, France would not allow, I'm sorry, family, I'm trying to fix my earring. France would not allow another country, or let's not even say another country. France would not allow an African country or president to come in and try to tell them what they should and should not do, how their country should be ran, what languages they should speak, how they can who they should have in office, who to put in office, who should run the country. None of these Western nations would allow any African nations to do that. So, but they want to run the African nations, and I'm so glad that these three countries, and I'm sure there are going to be many more to follow. But I am so proud of the presidents of these three countries for standing up. However, the three Sahelian neighbors stood their ground, uniting to form a military pact that evolved into a confederation called the Alliance for Sahel States, which is also known as the AES. The AES withdrawal from ECOWAS last year came into effect this January 2025, reducing the land area under the regional bloc to less than half of its original size. Following this, on March 17th, Niger and Burkina Faso announced their exit from OIF. Mali followed suit on March 18th. Mali cannot remain a member of an organization whose actions are incompatible with constitutional principles founded on state sovereignty. Read its foreign ministry statement. It's never good news to learn that a state wants to leave, the OIF spokesperson Van Wedge told the RFL. Of course, we regret the impact this could have on ongoing projects. Yeah, in the African nations. She said, adding that the organization will seek the opinion of states to see to what extent the OIF can remain engaged with the population of these countries. They don't, now do you see in America how Trump came in, he did an executive order, and they are uh, deporting thousands, okay, thousands of uh, immigrants, okay, with not a question asked. But when an African nation says they don't want a particular country within their country anymore, or a particular group of beings, then they are retaliated against. Do you make it make sense? Okay, so it goes on to say only 3.7 million of the over 23 million Melanians speak French. Nevertheless, French was the designated official language until mid 2023. Can you believe that? All these years that they have colonized these countries, okay, because that's what it was, they colonized them, okay? They colonized these countries to steal their resources, and they have to speak their languages. They can't speak their own language um, in their own country. It's just ridiculous. When the new pro sovereignty government demoted its status to a working language while elevating the multiple African languages as the official languages of Mali, as it should be. As it should be. Just like when there are immigrants here in America, and the first thing the Caucasian people say is, if they find them or hear them speaking in their own tongue, is this is America. Speak that language, okay? Which we know the English language is the most deadly, evil wicked languages that there is. But I don't know, these people are really, they're insane. It is in continuation of this anti-colonial direction that the AES countries announced their withdrawal from OIF at, in a post-colonial entity that resembles the Commonwealth. Their withdrawal will reportedly take effect in 6 months. Presently, the OIF has 93 member states. However, amid the growing strength of popular movement in France's former colonies in the Sahel and West Africa, including in Benin, Ivory Coast, and Chad, its ability to continue exerting influence through such institutions is weakening fast. And family, this is why they are trying to take out these leaders. This is why. This is why the Burkina Faso president has had uh, umpteen 25 or so or more uh, life attempts, death attempts on his life. This is why. Because these countries are waking up and they're saying, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. This is our country and we're going to run it the way we want to. And the West wants to have control because they want the resources in those countries. It's high time. I'm so happy to see this, that the African nations are waking up and taking back their rights, because this is what they should be doing. This is what they should have been doing in 1970. But thank God they're doing it now. And African Americans or Black Americans, as myself, okay, foundational Black Americans, are looking at this. And we're so proud and we're so happy because it is time now for the Black community globally to come together and to get to oust these terrorist groups, because they are terrorist groups, okay? Because when you don't do what they say or they tell you to do or the way they think you should do it, they are putting sanctions on those countries, which causes the people in the country to suffer. And see, they do this as a resort to make the people uprise against the leaders. But the leaders in these three countries, for sure, love their presidents. So they're not going to uprise because they love what their presidents, their leaders are doing, and they are with it. And so are we here in America. So thank you, the presidents of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. The world is looking at your bravery, and what you are doing is the right things for your countries. And we thank you. Hats off to you, most definitely, because it is much needed and it is time. All right, family, I thank you so much for joining me. Please have a blessed night. You take care, and thank you so much. More peace, love, and blessings to you. And, I know right now it is really difficult in this place, and we just will continue to stand up and do the right thing. And remember, stay out them streets. They're calling for a mass boycott or a millions of people marching on April 4th. But Black people, we won't be in those streets. We'll let them do what they're going to do. All right. Take care, family. Thanks so much for joining me. Blessings. Bye bye.